I'm doing this video because of this little fucking scumbag child killer, John Venables, right? Now, have you seen on the news, he's due to be released again in the next couple of months. The parole board are deciding whether to grant him his freedom again for the third time, right? Now, Denise Bulger, James Bulger's mum, right, the child who he killed, she's been told she's got to write a letter to the parole board to explain why she feels that John Venables should not be released from society, right? Now, they've already, regardless, this is the thing, the manipulation of the parole board, because they'll lead Denise Bulger into believing that she's got a say in what's going on and Venables getting released. The truth is, she hasn't. They would have already made this decision, right? But they'll say to her, yeah, you can write a letter and explain why you believe that Venables should not be released. They've already made that decision. But let me tell you something, John Venables is not being rehabilitated. He killed a child, spent 8 years in prison. He's been released twice, committed sex offences, looking at child porn, clearly a danger to children. So when you look at it, like that, you think, okay, well, the government are hiding this scumbag's fucking identity every time. So when they hide his identity, what happens is he then moves to a town or a city across the UK, and then he could end up dating your daughter, your sister, anyone else, and that person would not have a clue who he is. On top of that, what you've got to look at is, has he been rehabilitated since we've been in prison? Since he has been in prison, has he been rehabilitated? I'll tell you right now, he has not been rehabilitated, and I'll explain why. During COVID, for the past 2.5 years, prisoners have been locked up 23 hours a day. The only thing they've got is an hour's exercise. So they don't really get to do any coursework, and any coursework that they get, let's say hypothetically it's a fucking paedophile and he's been given nonce coursework to do. What these nonces do, right, is one of them will complete the course, then he'll send, he'll pass the completed paperwork to another nonce and say, yeah, just copy that. That's all you need to do, just copy it and you'll pass the course. It's manipulation. So they're then manipulating the course, so they're not being rehabilitated. All they're doing is copying another nonce's coursework, which is what they've got to say to pass the fucking the course. So then the parole board say, oh, this person's rehabilitated. You can't rehabilitate a nonce. On top of that, you can't rehabilitate a nonce who was mixed with fucking 100 other nonces on the fucking wing, and they're all manipulating the fucking procedure. Now, let me tell you something. The parole board, if you release John Venables, you will have blood on your hands. And what I mean by that is he will kill a child, another child again eventually. He keeps getting released from prison. He keeps fucking committing sex offences. He should never have been released. I know people who are in prison now. Wesley Brown's a classic example of it. He got nicked with a firearm when he was like 19 years old. 17 years later, he's still in prison, right? He's not killed anyone. He's not committed any sex offences. All he's done is had possession of a firearm, and that is it. But he spent longer in prison than the fucking dirty little nonce who keeps getting out and committing sex offences. So my point being that Denise Bulger, this woman, her family have got to go through this trauma every single time of him being released after a couple of years, and then he gets nicked again, and then he's fucking back in for a couple of years, and then she's got to write letters to the parole board to explain why she believes he shouldn't be released. It's fucking wrong. And on top of that, they're going to be protecting his identity. As I said, John Venables is a danger to the public. I know police, probation, some of them do watch my social media for the simple fact is because they want to see if I say anything that breaches my criminal behaviour orders, which means I can't say anything derogatory about police. So if you're watching this, Mr. Probation Officer, Mrs. Probation Officer, if you release this John Venables, it's here on tape now. I promise you, he will commit another offence, and eventually he will end up murdering someone, and then it'll be like, we told you. Denise Bulger, I'm sure her family will be saying exactly the same. John Venables is a danger to the public. He should not be released. So yeah, I just thought I'd do this little video for that, because he should never ever be released, ever, in a bit.